Good morning, everyone. On this beautiful fall morning, nice and warm outside and sunny. So welcome to the Unitarian Society of Northampton and Florence. My name is Jan Nettler. I use she, her pronouns. I'm on the worship committee. I'm the service liaison for today's service. I'm also on the settled ministers search team. If you are new and returning after a time away, we're glad that you're here. Feel free to fill out one of our welcome cards. They're blue, they're in the pews, which you can put in the offering plate or give to me or one of the ushers. There's a link to the online version in the chat if you're online, and we'll put you on our email list so you can receive information about everything we do for the rest of your life. Actually, you can opt out if you choose. And visitors can go to the Ask Me table in the back, and where there's some people from the welcome team who can answer questions that you might have. So we strive to be a congregation that welcomes people of all ages, religious belief, races, sexual orientations, gender identities, and abilities. We belong to the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, and we are guided and inspired by its values and principles. One of our principles calls on us to journey towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a multicultural, beloved community through actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions. Therefore, we are moved to remember that those of us in our region live on the unceded homeland of the Pakuntuk, Nonotuck, and Nipmuc peoples. We acknowledge our responsibility to confront the legacies of dispossession and systemic racism that are part of our collective history. And we also affirm and celebrate the many legacies that inspire us. I'm going to repeat a little bit of that. We acknowledge our responsibility to confront the legacies of dispossession and systemic racism. So what does that mean to you? And how might you live your life to make it a little better? We have drawing materials and other activities at the Soul Plate table at the back of the Great Hall. Also in the back, we have hearing-assisted devices, large print order of meetings, and large print hymnals. Restrooms are downstairs. You can reach them through one of these two doors. You can either take the stairs or we have an elevator, and you can return the same way. Our restrooms are all gender. We offer restrooms that are inclusive to trans and non-binary people, as well to caregivers who might be helping someone of a different gender. We have one room with a lock on the door if you need a single occupancy restroom. Please see our announcements in the order of meeting. I think I have another announcement. So I mentioned I'm on the search team, and we had a 4.5-hour workshop yesterday, breaking barriers, building beliefs, that dealt with biases, both unknown and known. The search team was there, the board was there, and many people from the congregation. It was a great turnout. The facilitator felt that when ministers come to them to ask about our congregation, she's able to say a lot of positive things about us. So that's great. Thanks for your participation. Also, you're not going to hear much from the search team anymore. We've prepared a document to share with prospective applicants, prospective ministers. It's 40 some odd pages, plus there's a lot of supplementary stuff that we'll be sending out in a few days. And then we got a little bit of work after that, and then we'd have a little vacation for a few weeks. And then in January, we will be getting applications. And we will be totally silent then because everything's confidential. And you won't, we will be up to our ears in work and trying to find the best possible person to be our minister. And that'll happen through January and February and March. And then hopefully in April, we will present a fantastic person. So we have a guest speaker today, Reverend Bona. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She has served the Unitarian Universalism for over 30 years and is the 2018 recipient of the Award for Distinguished Service to the Cause of Unitarian Universalism and the 2004 recipient of the Melvin Hoover Beloved Community Award for outstanding service to communities of color in Unitarian Universalism. She has received the Honorary Doctor of Divinity degree from Meadville Lombard Theological School in 2020. She's also a graduate of Smith College, she just told me, and was named Emerita Chaplain of an organization called, the acronym is DRUM. It stands for Diverse and Revolutionary Unitarian Universalist Multicultural Ministries. She retired this year as a palliative care chaplain at South Shore Hospital in Weymouth, Massachusetts. She has served as a member of the UU Nominating Committee, the Unitarian Universalist Women's Federation Board, and the board of the Church of the Larger Fellowship. Quite impressive. She's previously provided, and I have no idea what this means, AR/AO/MC support to the GA Planning Committee. Reverend Bona is the former president and vice president of the organization called DRUM. She now serves on the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee Nominating Committee and as chaplain to the UUA Board of Trustees. In addition, she provides consulting services for a small congregation in Eastern Massachusetts and is an itinerant preacher. She identifies as biracial. Her father was born in Italy and came to the United States when he was 7. Her mother is Wampanoag, a tribe that has lived on the South Shore of Massachusetts for thousands of years. In her retirement, she trains and shows her dogs and had the honor of showing Rosie, who's a champion, grand champion, Blue Ridge Vista Sendus. Thank you. This is exciting because you're going to find out more. And Aldash, which is a Blue Ridge Vista Aldash, and a Thanksgiving National Dog Show in Philadelphia and Westminster in Manhattan. She has a new puppy, Pastor Cosimo, also known as Juvenile Delinquent, who is in the show ring winning points toward his championship. Which one's here? The Juvenile Delinquent, Pastor Cosimo, is in her car right now, and she will bring him into coffee hour in the parlor afterwards so you can meet this juvenile delinquent. So please welcome Reverend Bona. We're here to celebrate, reflect, and support one another. It's good to be together, and now let's enjoy the prelude.
Good morning, Unitarian Society of Northampton and Florence. I'm Reverend Eric Cherry, serving as your interim minister and your liturgist for this service that will be led by my dear friend and colleague, Reverend Danielle de Bona. It is our honor to have us with you this morning, Reverend Danielle, especially as we begin a complicated week that carries so much meaning and challenge for all of us. Reverend Danielle has been an inspiring voice in our Continental Association for decades. She's led from the front when that was necessary. She's provided care and counsel in the middle of many efforts over the years, and she has been a wise witness and a reassuring presence, often from the back of the crowd when that has been what's needed. I'm so glad to have a chance to say how grateful I am for her leadership in all of these locations and spaces throughout our ministry. And as our service begins, she invites us to center the voice of Native American composer, educator, journalist, Lewis W. Ballard in our opening words. He wrote the following: "Homeland, beloved homeland, forever take my soul in hand and never let me stray so far that one day I cannot dream of my return to that sacred place where race and kindred all began. In sad farewell, I kissed the trees and sang my song on the trail of tears, one drop of blood from ancient Cherokees."
Sorry, please rise as you're able and body your spirit as we light the chalice, and then remain standing after the chalice lighting as we sing our first hymn, Morning Has Come, number 1000. Let what wisdom we have, want and wanting, lead us to strive so the seventh generation hence can live more fully. It is in that work and that alone that we can express our thankful spirit. May we make it so. For the opening to make it so, let us truly
grateful. And let's lift our voices as we sing hymn number 1000, Morning Has Come.
Teal hymn.
going to share a time for all ages with the younger and young in spirit of the congregation. You're welcome to come forward and join Reverend Danielle at the dais. And I'm just going to make sure that Reverend Danielle's microphone is working. So come on up, the kiddos and those young at heart. Please join us here at the dais. You can use that however you'd like to. Come on up, come on up, come on up.
You got I got stuff for you to touch.
Yeah, you're going to want to see this.
See and hand around. So come on up. I don't bite. And the seats up the front are no more expensive than the back. This isn't the symphony. This is church.
Good.
Okay, I want to talk about Indians. So I'm Wampanoag Indian. How many of you have met other Indian people? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, that's unusual. I usually get no hands. Let's start with the word Indian, okay? I use Indian. Whatever you use, Native American, indigenous person, whatever you use, it's fine with me. And it's fine with most Indian people. When we are together as Native people, we don't say Native American or American Indian. I will meet somebody and I will say, oh, hi, Elaine, I'm Wampanoag. And Elaine would say, hi, I'm Navajo, I'm, okay, Cree, Apache, Dene. So the terms don't really matter to us. So whatever you use, don't worry about it, at least not with me here. I have some things to show you. I want to talk to you about the difference between Indian people. So what have I got? I've got this. This is what? Turquoise? Turquoise? Okay. I got this on Navajo land, in Navajo Nation, a very, very long time ago. You guys want to look at it? Here. It's made out in the Southwest. What's this? This is wampum. Yes. I'm going to have it passed around. Wampum is made from quahog shells. Now, why am I showing you these? Well, I'm showing you because when you think about it, Wampanoag people are never going to make, what have I got in here? They're never going to make this. Why not? Why not? It doesn't come from the East Coast. It's, whoops, there's an earring attached to that. It's turquoise. We don't have turquoise. Thank you. This is a different kind of turquoise. This came from Minnesota, where there's a tribe called Sioux, but it's not the same Sioux that you may have heard of from southwest United States. This is wampum also. The Navajos are never going to make this. Why not? It's made from quahogs. There's no ocean where the Navajo live. And so some people think that we are all the same and that we look the same. I've had a grown-up adult man say to me, well, you don't look like a real Indian. Well, I don't look like a real Indian, thank you, that he has seen on TV with feathers in his hair riding bareback on a Palomino horse, right? I used to ride horses, never with feathers in my hair. And it was with a saddle, thank you very much. and reins and proper English saddle posting. Yes. Okay. The point is, we are not all alike. We're as different as everyone in this room. And all of us who live in this country, there's 500 tribes, all of us who live in this country, most of us have sovereign lands. We don't all live on the sovereign lands. I don't live on the reservation. And once had to tell a man, I would live on my reservation, but Jackie Kennedy owns it because, you know, she owned half of the islands off of Massachusetts. Thank you. So the point is, we are here. You probably walk past Native people at least once in a while in your hometown. We're not all dead, and we're all very, very different. So I hope you remember those things, and if you want to look at this stuff later, I'll be in coffee hour and be happy to share it with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Reverend Danielle. We'll now sing the kiddos off to their gatherings downstairs. Let's go now in peace. Now I'd like to invite you to extend a warm smile or a warm hand to those who are near you here as our greeting. And you can also wave to the folks on Zoom who are joining us from off-site, joining our service by Zoom. And it gives me a chance to say hello to those folks who are joining us. Good morning, Naomi. Good morning, Arlene. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, Kaya. Good morning, Christopher. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Emily and Marisol. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, John. Good morning, Joyce. Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Kamala. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Lillian. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Marianne. Good morning, Mary Beth. Good morning, Molly. Good morning, Naomi. Good morning, Rich. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Wendla. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Yasmin. Good morning, one and all. And what a joy it is to be together this morning, gathering here in the Great Hall and from across the miles, immeasurably near to us, wherever we might be. Friends, there is a last-minute request for a social justice minute, and Sherry's going to share that with us this morning. Good morning, Sherry.
Mic is off.
Other issues, the Democracy Action Team has been working to support immigrant justice. We've done a lot of advocacy, we've organized and co-sponsored events, and more recently, organized volunteers to support LUCE. And while we've been doing this collaboration, we've met and come into contact with a lot of community partners, one of which is the Western Mass Asylum Support Network. And they've made a request. So I'm going to read that to you today, but it will also appear in an upcoming Pioneer or Sunday Times. So the message is highlighting housing as an ongoing need of our network's members who are seeking asylum. Specifically, we are seeking people who can be hosts. Hosting can involve welcoming someone into a room in your home for a duration that works for you, providing space in another property you own or have access to, and/or supporting them logistically and financially in securing their own housing. The Western Mass Asylum Network is dedicated to supporting our friends and their hosts in having fulfilling, successful relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. So I just wanted to give a little context as to why they're asking for host homes. So people are often confused about the difference between refugees and asylum seekers. So they're both coming for the same reasons because they're fleeing persecution or the fear of persecution. But refugees are processed overseas. It can take them years. But the upside is when they arrive, they're assigned to local agencies that provide them case management. The government provides them some amount of financial support when they first arrive. It's different for asylum seekers. They can't apply until they come into the United States or till they get to the border. And when they apply, they have to wait several months after putting in an asylum application before they're even eligible for work authorization. So during that time, they have absolutely no way to support themselves unless they happen to have friends or family who are already in the United States. So that's where an agency like the Western Mass Asylum Support Network comes in, and that's why they're making this ask, because as we all know, housing is one of those big ticket items, right? And I will also mention that I have hosted with them before. I've hosted at this point probably 8 different people, and I would be happy to talk to anyone about my experience with that after the service. So thank you so much for considering their request.
Thank you, Sherry, and I hope that we will all consider whether there is a way to open our doors to asylees and refugees and those who are seeking a place to stay. And I'd like to invite you to join me in a time of reflection and prayer, of centering and meditation. And I offer a grateful open heart to you this morning, my grateful and open heart, knowing that this week there will be long looked forward to family gatherings, and family gatherings complicated by clashing worldviews, and family gatherings where someone or many someones are missing, and family gatherings that don't happen at all. I offer a grateful and open heart to you this morning, knowing that applying a layer of thanksgiving over a significant moment in white empire building and genocide, as if that never happened, is hypocritical at best. And knowing that we need more thanksgiving in our lives. And knowing that the only path to take ahead is repair. I offer a grateful, open heart to you this morning, knowing that warm and uncomplicated memories may draw you in, that a wish for a sweet Norman Rockwell-esque table can be so attractive, that gathering to break bread, whatever the repast consists of, with good, kind, loving people is precious and needed. And that counting blessings, expressing them, saying them out loud to the great eternity is good and healthy spiritual practice. I offer a grateful, open heart to you this morning, knowing that we come to this week feeling and knowing all of this, and that there is no simple path through, and that we are called onward. May you find a true and healing gift in Thanksgiving. May you allow yourself to be blessed by it. your grateful and open heart. And may you find a way to share that blessing with the world. May it be so. And as we remind ourselves each Sunday, it is our generosity that makes everything that we do at USNF possible. And it helps us to support organizations and movements in the greater community. Half of the proceeds of each of our weekly offerings support the Society's operating budget, and half are shared outside of our walls with organizations we are aligned with. People participate in our Sunday offerings in all variety of ways, sometimes by sending in a check, sometimes by donating online, sometimes even by putting a contribution in the plates, although that is not expected. The ushers will shortly pass those plates amongst you, and if you're inspired to add to them, you are most welcome to. And in that spirit, our Sunday morning offering will now be given and gratefully received. Reverend Bona selected a reading by Alyssa Waseda entitled, "This Indian Does Not Owe You," and I'll be sharing excerpts from that reading. The author wrote, "I am here before you, a living Indian, upright and animated, full of blood. I am a young Cowlitz woman, not one of the dead chiefs flattened into history books. I have come to expect that you may want to know what an Indian knows and feels. You may want to unroll before me your knowledge about totem poles, conversational niceties, perhaps attempts at connection. Fair enough. Know, though, if I have no response, it's because I have only a few inches of innards left to pull out for examination. I must place some limits so that I might keep myself intact. I do not owe you a complete breakdown of my ancestry. I do not keep a blood quantum chart sketched out on my palm like crib notes for an exam. I do not have to tell you where my mother was born or what substance forms my father. I don't have to justify the place of my birth, necessarily off reservation because my tribe has none. All of our land taken from us. I cannot stop you when your gaze searches my face, gouges out my eyes, and roughs up my cheekbones, but I don't have to respond when you offer your assessment. I don't measure my blood in pints and quarts, and I will not spill it at my feet for you. I do not owe you the long hair that confirms your expectations or the short hair that defies them. I do not have to let you touch it. I don't even have to let you witness it. And yet, you do see it, the hair that was 2 inches long when I came to this place where every woman in line before me was born, the hair that has grown as long as it can, skimming my waist, the hair that is getting limp under the weight of trying to insist upon what my pale scalp cannot. When you quiz me on genocidal highlights, were those smallpox blankets real? I've always wondered about that. To sate your hunger for facts, I do not owe you a free education of the kind that my university students pay for, and I am not so flattered by your interest in my people that I might unfurl a lecture on 500 years of colonization for your edification. I am not here to weigh in on the authenticity of that sweat lodge retreat weekend you paid for in the 90s. I am not invested in your personal search for meaning, but I was raised to treat others as I want to be treated. How I want to be treated? Not like a cabinet full of curiosities, not like a magic lady who waves her hands over your wounds and heals you of your ignorance. You can keep your wounds. I'll keep mine. And when you tell me that if you had been alive back then, you would have done something, I don't disagree. But I don't say that I know that it's true. You might have done something, but maybe not what you'd like to think you'd do. When you tell me it's too bad we were all annihilated, I owe you nothing. But still, I am giving you more knowledge than you deserve when I say, I can't help you.
Well, good morning. Well, here I am. Years ago, I vowed I would never, ever preach in November. My mentor and good friend, the Reverend Marjorie Bowens-Wheatley, of blessed memory, and I made a pact that when I was asked to preach around Thanksgiving, I would be busy and recommend Marjorie, who was an African-American woman. In return, I would preach on Martin Luther King Sundays. It is only because I know, I love, and I trust my beloved friend, your minister, Reverend Eric Cherry, that I am here today. And I thank you, dear friend. I know he wouldn't get me into too much trouble.
Don't be so sure, dear.
We'll get in good trouble together. Please feel free to join. So let's go on a journey. A few years ago, my sister and I went to the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Plymouth, America's hometown. There were floats, lots of floats, including a huge replica of the Mayflower that commemorated this historical event. It was so overwhelmingly inaccurate and wrong that I couldn't begin to describe it. And it was oppressive. I kind of cheered yesterday when it was pouring out. Yesterday was the parade. So that's the not so nice side of me. These weeks leading up to and right after Thanksgiving are a never-ending, moving plateau of racist, clueless displays, and preceded not very many weeks before by Columbus Day. For all that is holy, for the Wampanoag, it was not their first Thanksgiving. It was not the Wampanoag people's first Thanksgiving. My people celebrate with family and food many Thanksgivings during the year. As the seasons change, the celebrations change to welcome the season, welcome the harvest, plant the corn. And yes, the history books were that much right when they said that the Wampanoag people and the invaders joined for a feast. And please don't ever forget that my people brought the food. A few years later, the governor of the region celebrated Thanksgiving, giving thanks to God. And so the tradition of having a Thanksgiving meal continued in the Plymouth colony, not always with my people. This was his thanking God, the celebration of the day. He said, the victory of the war against the neighboring tribe, the Pequot people, who were mostly murdered, most of whom were children and women. In his message, the governor said, the victory seemed a sweet sacrifice, and they gave the prayers thereof to God who had wrought so wonderfully for them. The victory seemed a sweet sacrifice. And he said, and we, meaning they, gave the prayers thereof to God, who had wrought such a wonderful outcome for them. Thanksgiving. God have mercy. There's your brief history of Thanksgiving from a Wampanoag's perspective. I spent the couple of weeks before Thanksgiving with this knot in my stomach, a pain in my head, and an ache in my heart. The weight of this holiday crushes me. I am diseased, not diseased, but diseased. What I simply cannot understand is why thousands of people will gather together over a meal to celebrate a lie, to celebrate annihilation, to celebrate the oppression of other people. May the great spirit of love surround us. In the mid-1970s, a Red Sox pitcher was denied the purchase of a home in Weymouth, Massachusetts, my hometown, my mother's hometown, because he was a Negro. Oh, the irony that this man was refused to have a home for his family by the descendants of the white invaders, and it was the town where my mother lived and died, the town called Wessagusset by our people.
Here for a minute.
Do not tell me the Wampanoag language is lost. Just read the signs on the highways, Wessagusset, Nantasket,
This is, I want you
and
to.
so many out in this part of the
This is,
state.
let
At the very same time, my sister and I learned that we were not just Italian, like my father told us. We were half Wampanoag.
Indian. She's the
We were
one.
sitting at the dining room table, and my father was expounding upon all the wonderful things Italian, as he was wont to do. And of course, I agreed. We all agreed. I still agree. You know, the opera singers, the art, the music, the food. And my mother lost her patience and said, now this may not be the verbatim quote, but said, "Danny, don't forget, they're half Indian. They're my kids too." And everything stopped, dead. There was silence. Now, when you're 12 years old and you hear something like that, just at the age when you're beginning to separate from your parents, it is kind of a shock to the system. It gets worse. At the very same dinner table that evening, we were told, my sister and I were told, to tell no one that we were Indian, to tell no one about our heritage, to never mention it again, on pain of who knows what. It was to stay inside the walls of our home and to stay inside the walls of our being. Why, I hear you cry? Well, Indians were no more welcome in Weymouth than Black people. We learned that if the word got out, our grandfather and uncles would likely lose their jobs and have no way to support their families. Because, I assume many of you have heard this over your lifetime, because they were lazy, drunks, thieves, violent, untrustworthy. A blanket statement, mind you. And speaking of blankets, yes, it is true that hundreds of people were killed by blankets with smallpox on them. That is a true story. Did you learn that in school? I didn't. I did not learn the land on which people live cannot be discovered by someone else. You know, when you get there, it's too late. You didn't win the race. Now, if you're comfortable, close your eyes or just lower them. Now imagine, if you will, a people who want to worship their God traveling to a land and then building their homes there. They meet the inhabitants, and the inhabitants welcome them with open arms and help them survive. These two incredibly different groups of the human community, they live in harmony. Their village grows, and eventually there are hundreds of villages. And on the third Thursday of the month, we celebrate the coming together in the spirit of love. There would be food and music and dancing and playing games outdoors and inside. Just imagine that. You can open your eyes now. But instead, we have a parade marching through the streets of Plymouth while a small group of Wampanoag people gather to grieve. There is no reconciling. There is no shared time together. There is no prayer. I am diseased, my beloveds, filled with an incurable anger that lives with me every day. No matter how much I meditate, pray, meet with my therapist. And my friends, you also are diseased. You live on holy land that belongs to others, as you heard this morning. Did you steal it? No, certainly not. But by not knowing or by ignoring, you are diseased. I and other Indigenous people in New England, well, throughout the world, walk on land that we know is our heritage across the world. We scrape small areas where we can be together to celebrate and to grieve. We carry our ancestors in our hearts and in our arms, and yet we cannot lay them down because there is no place for them. It isn't until you walk this land with your heart outside of your body, instead of walking it with your feet, that you will begin to understand and know, really know. This is dis-ease. Racism runs deep, doesn't it? And it hurts all of us. In seminary, I learned that when I offered the gift to bring my message to a group of believers, I must give them hell and then give them hope. And so, for your hope, I invite you to use this place of worship as a place to settle your soul, to find ways every day to grow your spirit, to grow your spiritual muscle, so that you can hear these messages and you can go forward and make the change, all the changes, just change the world, what the heck, right? Just change the world. And I ask you to remember, to remember, to remember. Because this is a spiritual journey, and we are spiritual people. And the message today is that the world is broken. But the other side of that message is that our faith calls us to fix it. Our faith, Unitarian Universalism, calls us to heal the world. And that's the good news. It's not the easy news, it's the good news. The good news is you have a place to grow your spiritual muscle, this place right here with each other, so that you can change the world. So may each of you feel the blessings of our universe this week when you gather with your family and your friends. Take the days to rest, to laugh, to eat a good meal, to walk in the cool weather. Take a day off, and then go and change the world. Amen.
Amen indeed. And in that spirit, we'll rise in body or in spirit to sing our closing hymn, which is number 1028, the fire of commitment. May that light burn so strongly within and amongst us in the days and weeks to come. And let's sing with gratitude for Reverend Danielle's beautiful message for us this morning. We'll sing now together, number 1028, the fire of commitment.
My friends, may you be blessed with everything that is holy, that you find your hearts filled with love and compassion. May you feel the comfort of God in this place. May you be blessed. May you be blessed with the love that fills this room as you look around this place at these beloved people. Each one of you is beloved. And may you please do me a favor, go out and change the world. Amen.
Please be seated. Let's enjoy the poster.